I promised you guys that once we get 100,000 subs, I'll be doing my first mega campaign, and we did that. We've gone through CK3, EU4, Viki 2, and Hoi 4, and even Stellaris, and today I've edited down all of those videos into one mega video and cutting out the boring parts. I didn't include the Stellaris part in this video because there's no converter between Hoi 4 and Stellaris, but you can find a link to it in the description below in the comment section. So welcome to the longest continuous game I've ever had. This is my first ever mega campaign, and I am gonna start as the Byzantines. I'm gonna roleplay the Byzantine Emperor himself, and I'm gonna start in the 1066 start date. We will be pushing back the Seljuks, and the goal for the first part, which is the CK3 part before we switch on over to EU4, is gonna be to survive. We're not gonna expand too much. We're gonna be playing toll, consolidating our lands here, and making sure that Byzantium does not fall to the Turkish invaders. We're also gonna make our very own custom ruler. He is gonna be a fortune builder to help us with our playing toll adventures. Much like the real Ludi, he's also gonna be quite quick with the brain. And okay, this is not like the real Ludi, but he's gonna have a health boost, okay? I'm just compensating, really. I think I'm actually gonna make him a Roman, and I'm gonna be bringing back Latin as the official culture in the Byzantine Empire. Gonna make the dynasty of Historia, of course, as well. Oh, this has got to be the freakiest thing I've seen ever in character customization. I stand corrected. This is the freakiest thing I've ever seen. Looks to me like we're ready to start our adventure. Booyah shaka, boys, and holy mother of God, is that 20,000 Turks at my border? Before we actually get to war, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna choose Stewardship because we want to have the greatest fiefdom in the land. We have 3 focuses we can go for. I think I'm actually gonna go for domain so I can actually have more fiefdoms at the same time. Cutting cornerstones is amazing. Look at this, 5% discount on basically everything. Miss Ekaterine, it's your lucky day. You're a low-born woman, but you got intelligent, and I want intelligent for my kids. Zoe over here is gregarious, brave, and just, as well as has a robust, and hates me because she's a racist and doesn't like foreign cultures. Perfect wife material right there. We're gonna start our reign by promoting the Latin culture in Byzantium. Let's make the Roman Empire Roman again with the capital, and then moving on to the rest of the country. Well, whatever's gonna be left after the Turkic invasions, at least. Time to take back our castles, boyos. We're not gonna let the Turks take this easily, will we? Just gotta make sure we stay away from a certain province named Manzikert. My tactic right now is basically to siege down their provinces whilst they're sieging down mine. The big fish is gonna be taking over the capital of the Seljuks. Then we can actually do a peace deal. Gonna take us 6 months to finish sieging this down. And we took Sultan Al-Muzam Alp Arslan's son, Muhammad, as a hostage. Wondering how Mr. Alp Arslan is feeling right now. Ah yes, smart Byzantine vassals. Look at this. We're getting invaded by the Seljuks, and what do? They fight each other. Instead of fighting the Seljuks, they fight each other. Bruh. Oh boy, we got a pretty big battle happening here. I was trying to relieve the siege, and they're gonna absolutely slaughter me. They got double the amount of troops. Oh no, this is bad. This is really, really bad. I'm LARPing historical Byzantium. Alright, let's actually retreat out of there with whatever troops we got left. Well. Looks like the Turks are having some pretender problems. And you know what? I think I'm gonna give this one to the Turks. It doesn't affect me too much to just give them the eastern part of our empire. It does hurt a little bit losing all of this prestige, but nothing I can do about it, sadly. They have won the first engagement between our 2 civilizations. Feels bad, man. Feels very bad. We have been reduced basically to the historical Anatolian lands of the Byzantines. We will prevent them from getting into the rest of Anatolia, however, or at least try to. To make sure that we're ready for the next engagement, I'm actually gonna have to increase the size of my armies and recruit some new men-at-arms regiments, actually, as well as increase the defense defenses in my own holdings, as well as the production buildings, so I get some more income to recruit some mercenaries as well for the next war. Think it's also time for us to go on a pilgrimage, everybody. Let's go for the churches of Constantinople. I mean, that's gotta be the shortest pilgrimage ever, right? We live in Constantinople. I'm basically getting outside of the house. That's what's happening here. Oh, say what? I can ask for money from the head of the church. For once in my lifetime, I actually get something from the church. That is amazing right there. Hey, we got my first son here. Vespasian sounds like a great name. I'm also gonna do my first holy war against the Lebanese in order to reconquer the Holy Land. Oh, what? I just inherited the Duchy of Ephesus and 2 other titles? Whoa! We also can get our first legacy, and I'm gonna go for the noble veins, which essentially means I got a higher chance of getting congenital traits, which are the good things, sometimes the bad things, but mostly the good things if you choose your wife properly, okay? And as expected, a faction to take over the empire from within has started. They're all actually loyal, but they still want to screw me over, because why not? Am I right? Good old Byzantine style, and pretty much the only reason this empire collapsed overall. Let's hope that we can actually imprison this guy. We got 76% chance, and if it works, then we don't need to fight a massive rebellion of pretty much everybody in the war. Nope, we gotta fight them. We got to fight them. Oh boy. Why can't we all just get along, guys? Why can we not just get along? The entire empire is once more at arms because of some nasty boyos who want to be the new emperor. I'm gonna do a lot of title revoking after this, my boys. First big battle of the Civil War. We should win this quite easily. We got like 4 times more troops than them. Essentially a death stack right over here. If we're lucky, we catch this bastardo here in charge of their army. We didn't catch him, but it's all good. I just realized something extremely important. I actually did manage to imprison the leader of the faction against me. So if I execute him, theoretically, the faction should go away because they don't have a leader to install. Yep, it worked. It did work. I just got rid of the entire coalition against me, the entire civil war against me by killing this one dude. Wow. I feel like this is highly exploitable. Oh well, seems like we can get back to our business over here and improve our holding situation and expand the empire. I'm also gonna replace all of these bastards that rebelled against me, of course. Literally one day later, another faction arises to fight against me. Oh man, seriously, they really are not gonna stop, are they? I'm gonna have to execute everybody in the empire to keep them in line. Oh, I see. They're angry because I executed a family member. Komnenos, right. That is actually a pretty big family with 11 people having pretty good titles here. I might have made a mistake executing that guy. I'm getting a feeling that half of this playthrough is gonna be rebellions, essentially. So I've crushed about 4 rebellions as it is, and I'm gonna crush this one as well. Let's enforce our demands as such, imprisoning half of the empire. But guess what, guys? There's gonna be more rebellions. I'm already expecting it. So my plan now is to replace every single duke in the empire with my family members. Look at the amount of people I already have imprisoned. Most of these people are my vassals though. How many dukes we got here? And a prince? And what do you know? Another rebellion to install Nicephorus on the Byzantine throne. I swear, I'm actually feeling like I just want to abandon the empire myself and just reduce myself to the city of Constantinople. Let the rest of them fight it out for the remainder of this game. Since we have like a 5 seconds break between civil wars, let's continue our conquests in the Middle East. Oh, look at this. What a surprise, guys. We had 5 seconds without another civil war, didn't we? Skipping a few years ahead, we've dealt with about 20-something rebellions, but eventually they stopped coming because, well, my dungeons are basically full of various former dukes and so on, and I've replaced them with people that are actually loyal for once in their lifetime. My main guy here is about to die, however. We've also managed to pretty much build everything we can build in our holdings right now, and we also managed to get direct control over the Thessalonican areas. So we have 6 holdings in the mainland of the Roman lands. And I say Roman lands because culture-wise, we've actually expanded the Roman culture to quite a few extra provinces. Eventually, we will make the entirety of the former Roman Empire Roman again. For that matter, we started a slow expansion into the Italian peninsula with a few footholds in the south for the time being. We managed to ward off the Seljuks, which apparently now are the Persian Empire. I do remember they started converting stuff to Oghuz, but I guess Persian managed to take over somehow. There are some strange things happening around here. We do have Prussia still alive. Poland is quite centralized. The French and the Holy Roman Empire are about as historical as they can get. Castile managed to get a massive foothold in Iberia and is pushing back the Islamic invaders right now. The Fatimids are ridiculously centralized and hard to defeat. I'm honestly quite surprised by the level of stability that these nations are having around the world at this point. I was expecting them to collapse more and more, but that's really not the case. Great Liao apparently also formed. I didn't notice this. This is basically a precursor to the Mongols, and it is a little bit scary because eventually we're gonna get the Mongol invasion. And as expected, I did away. The Emperor Ludi of the Byzantine Empire died at 68 years of age. He died of cancer. He was one of the best fighters of his age, just like real life Ludi, and he reigned for 50 years. Again, just like real life Ludi after I restored the Roman Empire. It's a joke. It's a joke, okay? I'm not gonna restore the Roman Empire. Continue as Imperator Vespasian II. Long live the new Imperator. My heir is a bit of a schnitzel fart. Look at this. He doesn't even like me. He desires a lot of duchies, and he's overall a really nasty boyo. At least he's got this. He's got the robust inherited trait from my current leader right here, but he's not my best choice. I might actually replace him. Looks like I need to get new counselors as well, and everybody literally hates me at this point. I need to fix this before I start getting another 500 rebellions. Well, what do you know? The first civil war of many more to come. I'm sensing a trend with playing the Byzantines altogether, man. We have essentially gone through quite a few generations of the Historia family, but finally the situation is properly stable. We don't have rebellions every 2 seconds, and everybody actually fears us because we have a bunch of dread. Actually, this was 100 after I basically imprisoned half the empire. Best way to raise this dread is to just simply torture people. Gonna give me a little bit of stress, but then I have other ways of lowering that stress. Looks like we can also ask the head of the church to give us some monies, and I've reduced the number of direct vassals that I have. This actually helped out so much with the rebellions. So I've made quite a few kings around the empire. Essentially, I have less dukes, and whenever they try to rebel, they rebel against their king, and as long as the king is loyal to me, everything is a-okay in my realm. We've also continued our expansion. We've taken more lands in Croatia, a little bit bigger of a foothold in the Italian lands, and we've also started going into the North African parts. Our vassals did a great job here. We've taken parts of the Seljuks out, and this is basically all my vassals doing. Whilst the Seljuks themselves have been destroyed from the inside after various rebellions. Oh my god, this guy is so ugly. Look at his face! Oh, yeah, there you go. He is ugly indeed. How about his son? His son is homely, which can be seen on his face as well. Jerusalem made its appearance as well, and just as soon as they made their appearance, they got crushed again by the Achaemenid Emirate. The Sicilian areas are fully Roman right now, and quite a little bit more of the Greek lands are Roman for that matter. Let's also start our pilgrimage as well. We're gonna go to Jerusalem this time, a proper pilgrimage, not just getting out of our house. And yes, you saw that properly. We're getting 85 ducats, 54 of these from actual domains. This is how you actually play toll, when you're getting 50 something ducats from your own domains and just a little bit from the rest of the church holdings and the vassals. It's also about time that we consolidate the northern parts of Africa with another little war, because we did that pilgrimage, so we did have the piety this time. Stop running away, you bastards. I need to catch you. Actually, I'm going to reinforce these boys here, since these are desert boyos, and desert boyos are pretty good at battle in the desert, you might have expected. But you can't do schnapple when you get fight against 20,000 professional Byzantine peasants, okay? And yet another war has been won. Let's enforce our demon pounds. So we're gonna give these out to other Roman culture vassals from our family, of course. We're keeping it all in the family, essentially. There you go. My second son here, Caesar Crassus, can get all of this stuff. Let's also search for a new physician. And since we are in the crusader mood, let's also get the south tip over here of Sardinia from these boys. Looks like we got a bit of a naval landing. That's not good for us because they got the advantage in that situation. We do have 3 times more troops, so we should still be able to win this. Hopefully we manage to capture their leader, so this war is basically insta-finished. We have a second army going to their capital and a third army sieging down their allies' capital. Oh boy, we're gonna be attacking them in mountains. That is not good, especially when I have debt as well. So they are gonna get the advantage again, but the reality is that in CK3 numbers do speak massively, and that's why I keep winning all of these battles. Hey, what do you know, boys? We got Sardinia over here. I'm gonna grant Sardinia to my nephew as well. So my nephew essentially now has a lot of Italian lands, and what this means is that eventually after I become my nephew, I'm gonna have these Italian lands directly, since I do plan on abandoning this area mainly and just holding out into the Italian lands and turning that into Roman culture. It's also that time of the year where we execute all of our prisoners in order to get some more dread. So let's do that right now, actually. Sheikh Teflifawith is our next target, a Babayo, and 100 dread, which essentially means no one's gonna ever rebel because they're scared schnappeless of us. It's also time to lose some weight because we are obese, so I'm clearly role-playing real-life Ludi. So this guy I don't have to execute, but I will do it anyway. This game is turning me into a monster! At last, the Patriarchate of Alexandria is back in Orthodox hands also, and guess what? My family member is gonna own this as well. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that I'm gonna give it to my own family again? And for that matter, I'm also gonna focus on making Alexandria Roman again. Good thing we have an unlimited supply of heretics to execute, and as such, keep our dread up high, don't we? Rise of the Mongols. Okay, this is gonna be very interesting, let's say. Where are the Mongols, though? I don't see them anywhere. Oh, there it is. Oh, wow. They just start with one single province. No way. 30,000 units in that one province. Oh my god, wow. Whilst we wait for the Mongols to get here, we're gonna be expanding and getting some nice pretty borders. In just a few years, the Mongolians have massively expanded from one province to the entirety of this area. And me, I got a disease and I'm gonna die soon. So I got that going for me. At least during this guy's reign, we've definitely consolidated the empire a lot more. And for once in our lifetime, most of our vassals are actually very loyal, and I haven't had any rebellions during this guy's reign. Oh, what? I managed to get rid of the smallpox and I'm now immune to it? I'm gonna take advantage of this and I'm gonna use this guy to super consolidate the Roman Empire. So apparently the Papal States lost control over Benevento, which is basically a Swedish buffet for me, or better yet, an Italian buffet, let's call it. We can now found a holy order, and I'm gonna do that in the province of Flavium, which is right next to my capital over here. Let this be the birthplace of the Ludian Teutonic Knights, or Ludian Knights, better yet, I guess. Oh, that's so cool. You can see here Grandmaster Victorinus of the Brotherhood of the Holy Sepulchre. Can I rename them? I think it's also high time that we pass the absolute crown authority, which basically limits our vassals massively. They will not be able to declare wars on any adjacent nations without our permission. So it kind of limits our expansion in a way, because we're the only ones who can expand outside of the empire. But at the same time, it gives us a lot of bonuses, and it also gives us the ability to designate who we want to be our heir, rather than having to go with the first male born of the family. We got a bit of good news. The Khan is dead, but his empire is still absolutely massive. I mean, look at this bad over here, and they're still expanding like crazy, man. They now have up to 30,000 special units and 44,000 units overall. Our empire is looking more and more unified. No more rebellions at all. We have a ton of money. I don't even know what to do with it because I've upgraded to maximum all of my holdings buildings. And we have most of the Italian ports. I just need to get the papal lands and I need to get some claims on Tuscany as well as the Holy Roman Emperor. And then we can actually restore the Roman Empire. There you go. Just 3 provinces left: Genoa, Romagna, and Latium. And I need to be the living legend before I can click this amazing button. It's time, guys. It's time that we actually take back the city of Rome. We got our claims. Let's start this war. It's not going to be easy, but we already have most of the Italian peninsula, so we should have a fairly strong enough army. They only have about 15,000, but I highly suspect that they're going to start getting mercenaries. Let's engage their troops here so we can wipe them out, and then we can just carpet siege the rest of their country. There you go. I knew it. They started hiring a ton of mercenaries as expected, but your mercenaries not going to save you, Popio. I got more troops than you can even hire mercenaries. Let's wipe out these mercenary band as well. Nice. Mike, they actually hired 20,000 more troops. What? And they're trying to relieve the siege of Rome. Let's meet them up. We won that, boys. We won it. I'll be honest, fighting against the Papal States is probably the hardest war I've ever had to do. They keep hiring mercenaries after mercs, man. Are you kidding me? We had to fight like, what, 100,000 troops just to get the city of Rome? Really now? Thank God we got insanely high amounts of Byzantine pesantos. Oh, wow. We actually get the Colosseum as the special building in Rome and the Aurelian walls. That's so cool. And if you're wondering, this is how big the Mongolians are. They've started crumbling a little bit though. Well, this is a little bit awkward, but we're a Uman now. Since we didn't have any male heir, we had to give the emperorship to one of our daughters. Oh, would you look at that? We actually can start the first university in the world, and we get a special building slot for university, as well as we get the scholar nickname since we are the first to invent universities, okay? Oh, wow. The mighty Mongol Empire has collapsed, and we now have a ton of different countries. Golden Horde, Chagatai, Mongolia. Well, at least this is kind of historical, right? This is basically what happened. Sadly, they didn't even reach my lands. I was quite excited to get invaded by the Mongolians, which is a weird thing to say, but it is not the weirdest thing you'd expect from a map game. Holy mother of God, it actually took me over 10,000 ducats in order to get my demands enforced, and that's just for the one city of Ravenna. Quite a few years later, we've actually stabilized the empire massively. The eastern part of the empire has been secured. We've actually set our close family members by the borders here and have started converting them to Latin, or better yet, Roman culture. We've done the same pretty much everywhere, and in the Italian peninsula, we just need to do a few more wars, and I need to become a living legend in order to restore the Roman Empire. Only one city in Romagna and a few in Genoa left as well. The Portuguese have completely crushed the Castilians and are dominating the Iberian Peninsula. They've brought back Christianity to most of the peninsula as well, and they even have parts of Morocco, surprisingly. The Mongolians have completely collapsed on the other hand, with literally nothing left of their empire, and most of the Tengri provinces are seriously disunited. And yes, we're getting 165 monthly income. A lot of it, however, now is from our vassals, as we've pretty much maxed out the amount of buildings that we can get in our current holdings. We have everything we need to restore the Roman Empire. We got all of the Italian peninsula except some lands over here in Corsica. Let's just ignore that for now. And most importantly, we are a living legend, which means we can go to our decisions, click on the Restore the Roman Empire button. There you go. We're now the glorious, and we got the trait Augustus since we are the rulers of the Roman Empire. Imperator Anatolius II, the glorious of the Roman Empire. It took us quite a while to do this, but I took my time, I didn't rush it, and most importantly, I focused mainly on my domains and on playing toll, since I've basically fully upgraded every single building that I have under my possession, as well as a lot of the buildings of my vassals for that matter. We can also make the county of Roma the new capital of the empire. Empire. As consequence, this city that is under our direct control is once more the greatest city in the world. So at first glance, it might seem like the CK3 to EU4 conversion worked well, but not really. Look at this, boys. So we have the lands that we did have at the end of the CK3 campaign, but Jazeera, which is half of my country, is actually a vassal, not directly owned by me, and that is a really big problem unto itself. Leaving that aside, however, I have some questions here. First off, what is up with these cultures? Xliponian, Basramani, and Euxinian are what now? This was a Roman culture when I finished my campaign, but the only Roman cultures that I've got are in the Italian peninsula. Everywhere else, it's a different kind of Roman, apparently. Salinatorian. The same goes for Greek, by the way. We got Greek in the Balkans, but then we got Anatolian, Pontic, and brand new Seleucian. It's the same. A lot of cultures here. Turkish still is around, however. We have a few Turkish provinces ourselves. As is Romanian. We have a lot of brand new cultures in other places like Lipovan. Sorbian is considerably bigger, and we have Pomeranian as a part of the West Slavic group rather than the German group. The Germans have some new ones also with Alsatian, Flemish, and for some reason this area is Swabian rather than Rhenish. The French, honestly, nothing unusual in this area. Same goes for the British Isles. Maybe a bit more Scottish than the English would like in the north of England. And for some reason, we have East Anglian in Essex and Essexian in Sussex, as well as Cornwall. Highlander is the dominant culture in Ireland as well as Scotland. Slovak is a part of the West Slavic group, which is nice to see. The Cumans and the Pechenegs make their appearance. They did not get stomped out in this timeline, at least. The Altaic group is also a little bit less than in the base vanilla group. And that's about it for cultures. Religion-wise, obviously Orthodoxy is quite a bit more than the base game. And we have Sunni in the northern parts of Europe, with Suomensko as well right next to them. And Mahayanas, as well as Torumism. I don't even know what this is. What? -2 local unrest. Some Hindu randomly around here. Oh, actually more Torumism here. And we have Catholics here. Isn't this Jerusalem? Apparently this is Farama, which, yes, the guy is Jerusalem last name and the Welsh culture Catholic, and he's ruling this kingdom of Farama. This was Jerusalem when I finished my CK3 campaign, but whatever, doesn't matter. It's all gonna be Roman at some point. Am I right, boys? So the main goal of this playthrough, guys, the next 400 years that you're gonna see are gonna be me centralizing the empire. We're taking back all of the historical Roman lands, whilst at the same time playing tall. I had a ton of development in Constantinople, and look at this, they gave me 12 development. This feels like an insult. I don't even want to look at the dev map mode. This is so bad. My best dev is 12. Literally 12 is my highest dev in the whole empire. Bruh, I need to dev up this land because right now it's really bad. 4 development, 3 development. I might seem like I'm big, but I'm not that strong. I only have 1,400 development, and the big problem is that there's so many different cultures and I can only have 2 accepted cultures. So after I accept 2 cultures, I have to culturally convert everybody else to the main Roman culture. So that's another thing on this list. Every single province is going to be Roman by the end of this playthrough. I really like that there's a random Norman culture province in the middle of Italy, far away from the rest of the French lands. That's because the count in charge of this province in CK3 was a Norman count, and he probably just made the province Norman, I guess. We seem to have 4 provinces which are a separate culture, nowhere else to be found. I think I'm going to convert these provinces first to Roman, because I'm definitely not going to accept these boyos. We're also going to have to delete a lot of the forts. We have way too many forts right now, and we're going to have to properly assign our armies and make 2 or 3 major legions that we can use to conquer the lands that rightfully belong to us, of course. Set up apparently Ruthenia as our main rival. Ruthenia. Oh wow, they're pretty big actually. Holy snaps, they're a tsardom. They're the tsardom of Ruthenia, bro. Ho ho. Do they have any vassals? They have a couple of vassals, the White Rus and Galicia Volhynia apparently. Poland and France also are pretty massive, and they got all of the South part of France as their vassals, so they are definitely a major contender. The easiest part is going to be bringing back Iberia into the fold. Oh, come on, I got Western tech units, really? That's so disappointing. I was hoping to have Eastern tech, but apparently I got the poo-poo units at the start, so I'm going to have to be careful when I fight against the Muslim nations in this area especially. And seriously, I have a 2-1-3 as my heir, really now? I'm going to disinherit this guy, screw that, man. I'm not going to stick around with the 2-1-3. Anything is better than that. I'm going to do a 69 head move, and I'm actually going to destroy my tax dev everywhere, because this way it's going to be easier to convert all of these provinces to Roman, plus tax dev is absolute dog schnitzel, so I'm going to have all of this tax dev replaced with production and manpower dev, since we are going to be playing mostly toll here. Oh, Jazeera is actually improving relations with Ruthenia, my rival, so I expect to have a juicy war against both of them very, very soon. Also, I just noticed that I don't have everything as a full state. My favorite part's how the Papal States is reduced to one province in Corsica. Very short-lived, the Papal States for that matter. Oh, there you go, boys. 452, way better than the previous guy was. You guys are never gonna guess who the Emperor of the HRE is. Come on, let me hear it, boys. Write in the comment section who you think the Emperor is, and I'm gonna tell you in a few moments. Until that time, we're gonna have to get ready for a big-ass war against Carinthia, so let's bring our troops over by the border here. They are in the HRE, so they are protected by the Emperor, and they're also an elector in the HRE, which is run by the nation of Aachen. Aachen is the Emperor. A one-province minor has taken over the entirety of the HRE, with Hesse being another one of the electors, East Franconia, Carinthia, Steiermark, Nordgau, Ostfalen, and Czaslav. Czaslav doesn't sound very German to me. Speaking of the electorship and everything, the annoying nation of Hesse actually has parts of Sardinia, so I am gonna have to go to war with Hesse also at some point. Alright, well, it's time to do our first of this session. Let's go, boyos, let's go. It essentially means we're at war with quite a few smaller, insignificant nations around, so it shouldn't be too hard. I'm not even gonna commit all of my armies to this war. And hold on a second, I just realized we're the Roman Empire. Why is there a Holy Roman Empire when we're still around? Excusez-moi? I think it's time that we start planning the downfall of this so-called Holy Roman Empire. What I'm gonna do right now is a 5-head move, and the reason why you should never have the Holy Roman Emperor as a one-province minor, I'm enforcing religion on them, and because I enforce religion, they lose the emperorship. They have to be Catholic to be the emperor at the start, and this way the emperorship went down to Swabia now, Aachen just being a footnote in history and nothing else. Also gonna take everything that the nation of Carinthia has by the border with me. I don't care about the Germanic lands in Salzburg. I just want to connect my lands over here and get ready for the next couple of wars against these other OPMs. In the meanwhile, we are continuously converting everybody to the Roman culture, since on average it's about 29 Diplo points to convert people. I'm gonna prioritize this in the early part of the campaign. Pagan influence. Are you kidding me? We can actually spawn in animism in certain provinces? And idea cost minus 10%. Hell yeah, I'm going for this. The Roman Revival project is also quite well off underway. We've gotten quite a big chunk of the Italian peninsula back to Roman, and are working around the entirety of the empire for that matter. I actually just noticed that Kitila, which is the Sunni Sami emirate, has a 666 leader. Such a waste of a great leader on a one province minor, isn't it? This campaign made me realize that no matter what the alternate reality, the French and the English are always gonna be at war with each other. Plus, the English are always gonna try and take over Ireland and Scotland for that matter. Well, nobody actually helped Jazeera to gain their independence, and I did integrate them, which means that we're now a full Roman Empire once more, not divided in two pieces. And since we have integrated Jazeera, we're gonna be exploiting the development here so that we can also turn these lands into Roman Roman lands, of course. Poland still managed to get the Union over the Lithuanians, so no matter what universe, some things always stay the same. However, Ruthenia is definitely a wild card here. They're massive. We've done a quick expedition in the north of Africa to conquer what's left of the tribes here. This peace deal right here feels okay to me. I let the Iberian countries alone for quite a while so that whenever I do invade them, it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. And they have actually developed quite a bit the lands. Sevilla, the first one with the 30 dev in Sevilla itself, but we also have Burgos for Portugal that was developed another 12 times. Madrid was developed 9 times and so on. La Coruna as well was developed 10 times. And there's a recurrent theme with this around Europe. Julish also has 20 times been developed. Same goes for London. Also kind of weird that the last holdings of the Scots are in Wales, out of all places. Hey guys, can you find Lusatia? I mean, technically it should be in this area, right? But Lusatia is still around, just not here. It's in freaking Holland. It's Holland. Lusatia is Holland. What the schnapps is happening here? They still have all of their cores though in this area. The province of Corsica is Hellenic. I have no idea how this happened. Maybe through event, maybe they were Hellenic from before, but it's actually insane. And that's the only Hellenic province in the entire world. The most holiest of Catholic places is Hellenic. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Now that we've actually taken the province, I might just start a slow process of spreading Hellenism around the empire. I also like that now that we've taken Corsica, the name placement is absolutely beautiful. And because I let the various Iberian nations alive, they've been developing like crazy. Almost every single province has been developed quite a little bit. And if you look at the whole world, you can see that Iberia is 100% way more developed than the rest of the world. But I've only been developing provinces that are Roman, and I still have not finished fully converting every province to Roman. I did give out the religious cultures privilege, which makes it cheaper to convert non-accepted cultures to my main culture. I would have liked to see Sunni Sweden, at least in the northern parts, would have been funny. Ruthenia and Zaporozhnia are essentially allies and have been allies from the start, plus the Commonwealth has expanded quite a bit, and they've taken more lands from the Germans and even from Hungary. In the east, Yugra is pretty big, but they're getting their asses kicked by Zetsu. Sirdaria is massive. Ming is as well, still intact, did not collapse yet. And we have the unique nation of Himalaya, which is a Nepali nation dominating over most of northern India. Meanwhile, we also have Nubia, but it's a Sunni Nubia, not a Coptic Nubia, with Ajuran and Mesopotamia ruling most of these lands here. Whilst Great Britain is kind of the only nation actually colonizing right now. Portugal was colonizing as well, but their process is a lot slower since Portugal almost lost its entire country to Galicia. They only have 5 provinces left, and I'm actually kind of sure that Galicia is going to fully annex them, in which case Portugal is going to move to the New World in the Caribbean. Austria has been reduced to a 1-province minor, completely surrounded by Bohemia, which owns most of Bavaria as well. It's a little bit of payback for what happened in our timeline, I guess. And we can start another war against the Iberian nations so we can get a little bit more chunk out of them. One of the things I've noticed is that many players don't really understand what playing toll means in EU4. If you think that it simply means having a few provinces and developing those provinces, then you're wrong. That's not what it means. Playing toll means getting the most income and manpower out of your provinces, regardless if you have 5 or if you have 100 provinces or 1,000 provinces. And I'll give you very clear examples right now. So I have actually been playing toll in this campaign, did not expand too much, and in the past 100 years I've only basically taken the Spanish lands and nothing else. But my income went from -10 to 300 balance with 555 total income in just the last 100 years. And my manpower went from 120 to 1,000,000 manpower in that same exact amount of time. And that's because I've been investing my mana points in developing the provinces provinces, and more importantly than that, I've been building the right buildings in the right provinces. What does this mean? Well, I've been building this production building, the workshop, in all of my stated provinces. That means all of these that you see blue right here are full states and have workshops. Well, most of them. You can see my states over here. The rest of these are actually trade companies, and because of these trade companies, I have 11 merchants, and I'm using these 11 merchants to funnel so much trade. And I also have almost 100% trade in Constantinople, making it a sort of an end trade node, aside from my other two end trade nodes that I have here, and the rest that I'm funneling from the civilian area, which is essentially all the colonial money. But that being said, I've also managed to build universities in most of my stated provinces, and this gives me 20% dev cost reduction. I am in the process of building all of the training fields here. I have built most of the barracks, trade depots, but only in the provinces that actually give you an extra bit of bonus, so not every province. You can see only the provinces that already have high trade power are the ones that I'm building the depots in and the marketplaces. Otherwise, I would not bother wasting that building slot. Courthouses in every single province, that is the goal, because courthouses lowers the autonomy. It also lowers the governing costs, so that means it's 25% cheaper. And I do know some of you struggle with governing costs, so always build these in every province and upgrade them to town hall afterwards. Also been building the soldiers' households in every province, that is grain, fish, livestock, wine, because as you can see here, it gives you 2 times more soldiers from building in these provinces. Similarly, build the manufactories in all the provinces that are high trade goods. So like for example, this one's giving me 1 ducat flat from building the manufactory there. Similarly, copper, glass, iron, sugar, and whatever else, salt, also gives you a huge amount of income from building the manufactories in those provinces, and not just randomly in every province. And through a combination of all of this, let me show you what this ends up being. As you can see, it only cost me 4 mana points to develop these provinces, and look at this, I'm getting 600 manpower from 4 mana points, and I have 496 now. I also used this time to let the other world powers grow in size and to colonize the new world, so that once I switch to Vicky 2, I do have some nations in the new world, and it's not just completely empty and colonizable land. I also started doing a little bit of colonization myself. We have Roman Columbia over here on both sides, but I'm not spending too much time with it. I might also get a few more provinces here. I'm in the process of getting this one here, for example. Most likely, I will just take other nations' colonies towards the end of this campaign, maybe. Ruthenia still bestest of friends with Zaporozhye, and they're not killing off each other. Manchu formed, and Ming is massive still. Japan managed to expand a little bit as well. The top 10 great powers we got are me, followed by Ming, Great Britain, and the rest of the gang. And I had to stay Orthodox, even though I had the Hellenic province over here. The rebels got killed when I went in one of my wars, and I just gave up on the whole Hellenic idea. It feels bad. And even though I'm taking a sizable chunk out of the French, I'm actually keeping them alive because I want them to continue to colonize in the new world. They got the French Florida over here, as well as French Mexico, which is quite sizable, and I want to see this turn into either Mexico or United States. I think though that the Natchez Federation might actually become the US with a little bit of a push. You know what? Let me actually send these guys some money. Let's send these boyos, say 1,400 ducats. Maybe they can push off the Portuguese afterwards. Or if not, I'll send money to the Portuguese to push them over. I'm basically manipulating how things are going in my game, okay? I'm role-playing real-life US, actually. Give both sides the money and let them kill each other whilst you're getting richer. Am I right? Am I right? Surprisingly, the French lands are actually less development than the Spanish lands were. Let me check this out. Yep, way less development. Also, because I'm getting a ton of money, I've actually upgraded all of my monuments to level 3, which means that I'm getting minus 20 advisor costs from this one, another minus 20 advisor costs from the one in Athens, and another minus 20 advisor costs from the one in Cairo. And if you're wondering how I'm getting this, in order to get the benefits from these monuments, you just need to accept the Egyptian culture, Greek culture, and whatever other culture that monument has as a prerequisite. In this case, it is Greek and Egyptian, or actually it's Levantine for the one in Cheops. And because of all of these, we're only paying very little for level 5 advisors. We're actually getting a 60% discount. It would be 80% discount, but we are a little bit over our governing capacity because we have been deving up the lands quite a little bit. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to build the courthouses, which is going to lower my overall governing capacity cost by a lot. Our truce is also over with Galicia, and we should be able to fully annex them, I think, in this war. Let's actually double check on that statement. Yep, 65 to fully annex Galicia. Absolutely amazing. Let's also start building a proper heavy ship fleet, because we're going to have to go up against the British, and I cannot get the war score for getting these lands unless I actually get on the British mainland. Not to fear, however, I don't plan on completely wiping them out or anything of the sorts. I just want the lands on continental Europe, nothing else from the British Isles. Because I also want to have a challenge when I switch this save over to Victoria too. I wish I could get the monuments in Victoria too, though. All of these are actually amazing, man. The amount of benefits I'm getting from them. Actually, let me just use some manpower and finish this one as well. 100 governing capacity extra, which means I don't really have any more governing capacity issues now. So I'm only paying 10 ducats per level 5 advisor, or 5 ducats if he's got the 50% cheaper trait as well. The world is a lot more centralized. We've been using the threaten war interaction to grab land around everywhere without having to go to war, because we can. And we're getting 1,200 ducats total income with 600 profit. Plus we have 2 million manpower and 800,000 troops in the field already. We basically have 40,000 units in each adjacent province to the Germanic threat, as I like to say. I've also been sending a lot of money to pretty much every country in the world. The one that's made the most out of that money has been the Natchez Federation, which has actually completely killed off the Portuguese colonies. I'm gonna send them some more money right now, actually, for that matter. Another 4,000 should help them out a little bit. Suffice to say, considering everything here, the New World is predominantly English speaking, let's say. Meanwhile, in Europe, Scandinavia formed, and my god, they are absolutely amazing. They've actually been playing Toll a little bit. Ruthenia has not been playing Toll. I don't know what they've been doing. They've just chilled here. Haven't had any wars for the past few years. Well, I think they had one war against the Commonwealth. Meanwhile, Zaporozhye or Kwons has expanded like crazy. And oh my god, they're attacking Sardaria again. So they're going to take even more lands. At one point, the Ottomans appeared in one province here. And they still have the core, but they got completely raffle stomped by Zaporozhye, who apparently is even killing off Zesiu, which is one of the biggest hordes around. And I was expecting this to happen. The United States formed from my former colony, as well as Colombia formed from my former colony. So let's send them both a couple thousand ducats so they have enough troops to conquer the rest of the New World. I see a massive injustice happening right now. The Commonwealth is attacking Bohemia, and they don't have enough money to fund this expansion, so let's send them a little bit more cash. And whilst we're at it, let's also abuse our power and threaten war against the Ruthenians. They're more than likely to give us whatever we want. I've basically gotten like 20 provinces just from threatening war against my neighbors. And boys, we now have the counting house. So just wait. After we build all of the counting houses, we're gonna be ridiculously rich. I also want to answer a question that's been asked a lot in my comment section. How do you keep above 50 PP when you don't have any possible rivals? Well, you get 25 power projection from being the first great power, and you also get 25 from being a hegemon, and we are the full economic hegemon, so we are getting 50 from that alone. Plus we have age objectives fulfilled, which offers us an extra 9, so we got 59 power projection at all times, meaning we get the +1 mana continuously. Oh, you bastards, Natchez Federation, you're killing my baby! Oh no! I probably should have released them after they got a little bigger. This was kind of my fault, not gonna lie. And because I want this to be a fair match, I'm gonna take on the debt of Bohemia also. Give them a little bit of a chance to actually fight back. If you thought that developing for 4 mana points is amazing, just look at this here. We can develop for 3 mana points now, so we can just quickly go around everywhere, start developing like crazy. We're getting 3,000 ducats total income with a balance of 2.12, whilst we have 1.5 million troops in the field, and we have a reserve of 180,000 ducats, as well as 5.5 maximum million manpower, and we're just in 1783, boys. Meanwhile, the Germans got completely wrecked by the Commonwealth another time. The Netherlands actually had a massive amount of land. They were forced to release half of these nations here. France just got most of its provinces back now. That being said, Upper Lorraine seems to be doing pretty well. And Karnataka apparently almost finished unifying the south part of India. Surprisingly, Great Britain's colonies are still not independent, and they are not even close to 50% for that matter. So I might have to help them out with a little bit of an incentive. Let's say 5,000 each. Booyah shuckadoo. Oh, hey, we got Cuba actually. This was a former colony of Portugal, I believe, and broke away. Florida, on the other hand, is everywhere in the world. They got islands in the Indonesian archipelago, small bits of Africa, surprisingly, they still hold on to, and the lands that I let them keep before. Plus, I think this is new. Not sure if they had this before, to be honest. I did take a few more provinces in Ghana, but I didn't try to take too much. I just wanted to get enough so I have a very nice border for the thumbnail mainly. And the most surprising of all things is the fact that Switzerland is still intact and in fact has exactly the Swiss borders. Politically speaking, it's pretty accurate. This is exactly what we had when we finished the EU4 campaign. Even some of the armies are actually in the exact same location where I kept them in EU4. So that's a little bit surprising. They're by the border as I was hoping that they would be. We don't have any colonies. We abandoned all of our colonies, and in the New World we have a variety of nations. We have Quebec, we have Canada, Iroquois Confederacy. We can actually click on this button here and then the US gets cores on everything, as does Canada. So there you go. Now the US has cores on all the proper American parts. I have a strong suspicion that the US is going to play a very big part in this game, and I'm actually going to encourage them to conquer the New World so that they're going to be the main antagonist in the next part of this saga. Natchez Confederation is actually divided by the Zia Federation, which took the entire province of Austin. Alright, that's interesting. So in EU4 they didn't have all of this, but that's fair. I guess you cannot have exactly one-to-one provinces in Wiki 2 since there's different province placement. South America is pretty much British South America with a big former Roman colony that is now Colombia. Florida, if you guys remember, the island colonial empire has the Caribbeans as well as Curacao and Aruba, and we also have traces of Florida in Africa. And guess what? The Andaman Islands also are colonized by Florida. So essentially Florida is a true world power. They're everywhere, guys. Tidor is pretty big also. Moanfongo is pretty big too. Dzungar formed. This is likely one of the Tibetans that formed Dzungar via the mission that they have. And Japan, I have to say, is the closest to historically accurate borders I've seen so far. Obviously they didn't have Korea by this year, but it's basically World War II Japan with the lack of Taiwan, of course. Maybe they'll get Taiwan in this playthrough, you never know. Kamchatas are pretty big also, and sadly there's no Russia that would go all the way into the Siberian lands, but we do have Ukraine, which has the previous Zaporozhia nation as a satellite. So if you guys are new to Wiki 2, there's a system here where you have sphere of influence over certain nations, and then essentially you get access to all of their resources and so on. Also have to say that Iraq is not in the right location. Granted, we kind of took over Iraq for ourselves. That is true. Let's see who the great powers of this game are. Obviously, we're the first one, followed by Poland, Lithuania, British Empire, Ukraine. Wait, what? France? France doesn't exist. Oh my god, where is France? Oh, dude, hold on a second. Where is France? I need to know where France is. Seriously, did I miss like one province that France had somewhere? Oh my god, France is also an island nation. They got St. Helena, and is that it? Do they have any other islands? They have a province in Africa that is occupied by rebels, and I assume these are old French colonies. Yep, we got them in Micronesia. That is really weird. Like, there's actually proper great powers here, but the way that the system works in Wiki 2 when judging what a great power is it takes into account industrial output, military output, and prestige. France has no industry, no military, but it does have have prestige. That being said, I'm pretty sure in the first 10 to 15 years, we're gonna see completely different great powers. And guys, I just noticed something. We have the Ottoman Empire in India. They have basically the Afghani / North Indian parts here. Are they even Turkic culture? They're 100% Turkish. I don't know how that happened. Let's take a little bit of a closer look at our empire. Let's go to the nationality. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? The only thing I asked for was that every province is Latin culture, because I converted all of my empire to Latin, and this is what I get. So I get a different type of Latin culture. So we have Gaul culture, we have Spanish. Latin is only in the Italian peninsula apparently. Then we have Latin or something like that in here. Romanian and Romania. We got Assyrian, Basramani. We also do not have cores on pretty much anything. We only have cores on Italy and France. We have no cores on Spain. What? Like, look at this. There's no cores here. What? Let's see what reforms we have. We got no reforms essentially, but we do have outlawed slavery, which is perfect because everybody knows there was no slave ownership in the Roman Empire, right? Fine, okay, we abolished it. It's been thousands of years. Come on. And we also have access to technologies because we started in the 1836 start date. Ideological thought first, because I really want to get more national focuses. So the way the game works right now is you can assign national focuses to encourage specific things to happen in your provinces. So let's say the region of Provence here, we can encourage certain things like immigration, promote specific jobs in this particular province. So we can encourage more soldiers to start popping off, encourage the production of certain factories here. You know, I finished EU4 with like a few million ducats and I start this with 50,000. Really? That seems a little bit low, man. I think I'm gonna start taxing everybody in the country. There you go. Maximum taxes for everyone. Maximum tariffs on everything. And I'm gonna increase the defense budget, administration, and education, that is. We're definitely putting to good use all of these taxes that we're getting from people. Looks like the party in charge is Patriotioi, which I'm assuming is the reactionary party. But most of the country is conservative. Okay, interesting. Oh my lord, look at this, boys. Biggest producers of iron are the Empire of Ming, followed by us. So bad, man. I was really hoping that I'm the biggest producer of iron. There's a lot of iron in Poland, Lithuania, so I might pay a visit there. Let's go ahead and check coal. Coal again! We're third! Poland, Lithuania is producing more coal than us. No! These are the most important resources here, iron and coal. It's basically what fuels your industry. Machine parts, we are the top producer, but we don't really have any factories right now doing anything proper. So let's sort out our factories. We're gonna subsidize all factories, open them as well. We're gonna start building more factories and investing in our economy as much as we can. I love the fact that Austria literally just has 2 provinces. They don't even have like proper Austria, and Salzburg is owned by Carinthia, which also owns Landshut, and they have the same color as Lorraine, so it's really hard to even spot the difference here. Also proud of the fact that the northern parts of the Netherlands is Polish-Lithuanian. That's so freaking random. Vampire hysteria. Another outbreak of vampire hysteria has occurred in Romanian lands. Superstitious peasants have taken to daubing their necks with garlic in a bid to ward off the nefarious ghouls. So just another regular day in Romania then, right? One thing I really don't like is the fact that we only start with 4 generals, so it's gonna take a very long time before we're actually able to recruit enough generals to man all of our armies right now. And are you guys ready for the best feature of Wiki 2? That is correct, we're building railroads, boys. Look at this juicy button! Build a railroad, sir! We're gonna build railroads in every single province. Go to the infrastructure map mode, hold control and click the buttons. We also can build a naval base here for that matter. And we're gonna do the same thing. Control, hold the button and click on a railroad expansion. So we get railroads everywhere around our country. Wow, this fleet is costing us 700 ducats monthly. I'm gonna keep the transports and I'm gonna disband every other unit in this fleet because I will eventually replace them with proper ships, modern ships for that matter. This is just way too expensive for me right now. I need to actually get a proper economy going. Look at that. It boosted up to 1 point something K per day from just disbanding that fleet. We also can now allow slavery. No, we're not gonna. Oh my god. 100% of the upper house is reactionary. Well, this explains a lot of stuff right here. Hey kids, it's time for another newspaper read. What's in there today? Well, guess what, boys? The British Empire fears our might. Why though? We're just fluffy Roman soldiers. We're fluffy. We're fluffy, goddammit. I believe it's also time to build some more factories, and let's check what kind of production we have in the capital state of Rome. We're mainly producing fruits, and that's it. We are literally only producing fruits in our capital. Are you kidding me? We're only producing fruits? That's useless. All right, time to build factories in that case. I will be building factories basically in my Italian provinces. Finally, we found one of our states that has iron producing here. Parma, Modena, both producing iron. So let's actually build a steel factory in that province. Remember, whenever you're building factories in your states, you need to make sure you have either coal or iron production there, because that's going to increase the amount of steel that those factories produce. I mean, you can build these anywhere, but if you don't have any production bonus from either iron or coal, then you're producing less steel. So what's the point, right? Whoa, Ukraine, you want to be my ally? Whoa, hold up a second. What? UK is justifying on the black foot. Wow, UK, that is very aggressive of you, sir. Alright, well, let's just get our alliance with the Ukrainians here. You know what? I don't mind having a good, solid alliance with these guys. I'm also noticing that every province that had a fort in EU4 actually starts with a fort in this game as well. So, for future reference, in case I ever do another mega campaign, I'm gonna build a fort in every province by the end of the EU4 campaign. We also will be encouraging clerks to pop up all around our Italian parts. The way you rule a nation is by having enough clerks in there, okay? Interesting. The British Empire is at war with Lorraine. Lorraine liberation of Hanoverian Nordheim. Oh, looks like Hanover is in a PU under the English then. No, they're just allied to the English. They're a great power. Let's see the great powers now. So, like I said before, a lot of changes. Scandinavia is up here now. Netherlands and Hanover are here as well, with Hanover actually having quite a bit of industrial output considering everything. I'm curious if Lorraine actually manages to take over Hanover. They can even form Germany in that case. If your history teacher asks you who built the first railways in France, make sure you tell them it's Ludi, okay? This is clear historical evidence. Looks like Lorraine actually won the war against Hanover. They got one province from them, the Nordheim province. Can someone explain why there's a nation called Deseret in an area that was not colonized by anyone before? Is this like an event that brings this nation forth or something? And they're also a secondary power. To put that into perspective, Deseret is more important and powerful than Colombia. Think about that, Colombian people. Excuse me, sir. Ottoman Empire wants an alliance with me? Oh, and they even lost half of their country to Punjab. Right. Okay, you know what? Sure, we'll get an alliance with the Ottoman Empire. They seem like they got a bright future ahead of them, so why not, guys? Why not? Hold on a second here, boys. Ukraine's calling me to war in liberation of Karelia. What? That's Scandinavian land, man. What are you doing here? Okay, I guess I'm at war with Bohemia and Scandinavia now. Oh, whatever am I gonna do against this nation? They're so powerful. Oh no. Do you know what? I'm actually gonna just ignore this war. I feel like they can handle this by themselves. Go ahead, boys. Do your stuff. You got this, man. You got this. I'm gonna send you some weapons and I'll let you do it all by yourself, alright? There you go. I'll give you 101,000 per day. This is more than enough. To also continue our research, I'm gonna go with medicine so we actually get some vaccines going, because I know people love vaccines, right guys? And we also can upgrade our railroad systems now, so let's go ahead and upgrade it first in the Italian peninsula and work our way from there, civilizing the world one province at a time. Am I right? This Ukrainian invasion of Scandinavia is reminding me of the Soviet invasion of Finland. Hopefully it does not have the same outcome. Alliance offer from Lorraine. Yeah, sure. You know what? I don't don't mind helping Lorraine form Germany, actually. Let's help them out with their rebels whilst we're at it. I'm starting to realize that because I'm such a massive empire, my people are very uneducated, and that's kind of hurting my research output. I'm pretty far behind with my research output, sadly. I need to get more clerks, and I need to get more clergymen. I'm also going to show you guys how you can cheese the market and essentially ruin everybody's experience if you're in a multiplayer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on machine parts. As you can see, it's in massively high demand. So if you have a lot of machine parts produced, you get a lot of money from that. I am the top producer of machine part now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and deselect automatic and make it manual stockpile of 2,000 machine parts. Essentially, this means we're going to be paying extra just so we get all the machine parts from the market. And I'm going to do the same for iron and for coal as well as steel, because these are the most vital resources that every country needs in order to continue to build factories and to just develop their infrastructure and industry. Oh my freaking god, we have a massive rebellion. What? Alright, we gotta get rid of these guys. That's gonna take a little bit of time to get rid of them too. I was actually helping killing off the rebels in Lorraine, and this happens in my own country now, man. What? It wasn't that hard getting rid of the rebels in my country, but even after I finish that, I still have to fight more rebels in Lorraine. There's peace between Scandinavia and Ukraine now, and they didn't take anything. They basically just lost a lot of soldiers for no particular reason. On both sides, a lot of death. And the only people that made money out of this was the weapon suppliers and the Roman Empire. So I guess I won that war. Hey. Oh my freaking god, Lorraine, are you actually getting rebels again? It's not even worth helping you out anymore. I'm getting out of here. 4 million Jacobin rebels. What are these guys' demands? Oh my god, the entirety of the rebel army from Lorraine just came into my lands, and they're trying to seize land from me, but this is not German, this is Latin, dude. What the hell's happening here? Like, why are you here? At least I understand why they have so many rebels. These are pan-Germans, so they're trying to unify Germany, and I honestly think they might actually succeed considering there's so many pan-Germans even in Hanover and all over Lorraine. Oh, actually, you know what? We might be able to reinforce this army in time. Look at that, boys. 117,000 we killed, and we lost in 9,000. Amazing, absolutely amazing. I don't really get why I just lost 40,000 population in the last 30 days. But hey, whatever, man. I'm just gonna increase the taxes now again. That should help the situation. In case you didn't realize, I'm trying to roleplay modern society right there. Looks like it's time for another war. I'm getting called in again. Sure, man. Second time's a charm, right? That's what they say. Meanwhile, the rebels in Germany are super close to unifying all of this. If we go to the nationality tab, you can see that most of the eastern parts are Sorbian, not German, so they really just need very few provinces in order to form Germany. We are becoming a constitutional monarchy. I'm losing all of my power. I don't like this. I don't like this. So I just realized this is not Bohemia here. This is Poland, Lithuania, which means I actually have to fight against the Poles in this war now. Take note, Poland is the second great power after me, and they have almost the same amount of troops. I'm just kidding. I have like 10 times more than they have. It's not even going to be a challenge, but I'm not going to commit my entire army, obviously. We might as well add our own war goal if we are at war with the Poles. Let's go with free people, and let's give Magdeburg back to Hanover. Oh, snaps. Hanover is offering me an alliance. Yeah, sure, Hanover. I can ally both you and Lorraine. We can all be the triple entente. Maybe call it the Axis. Looks to me like Poland actually mobilized their nation because they all of a sudden managed to get a ton of units. I'm still not gonna mobilize my nation. I don't need to mobilize. And we can also give back the Austrian lands to Austria in this war. And they agreed. Look at this. Hanover's considerably bigger, as is good old Austria here. Oh, what? Graz is also... Oh, dude, they have one more province. That's so ugly, border gore. Ew. Holy mother of God. This is like 5 times more than I actually have soldiers. So the world has changed quite a little bit. Basically, the United States completely ate the nation of Algonquin, or whatever the hell they were called. And now, the US is the 5th great power. I am supporting the US as far as I can, and we'll try to to make sure that they get the entirety of their land. There you go, United States. You have my support. I know, right? Best Scottish accent ever. Well, looks like Florida wants us to have an alliance. This is the best alliance I could ever hope for. Florida as my ally means I can take on over the world. So we just got nationalism and imperialism researched, which means that we're gonna start getting cores on all the provinces that we have around the empire, which we don't have cores on. It's already started. We got one on Girona already. I'm also fighting with the British over here to try and get the colonization of Tarfaya before they get it. I'm a little bit ahead of them, but I'm really worried that they might get this, because if they do get it, then they have access to the entirety of this region afterwards. I'm gonna also replace all of my regular infantry units with the guard units, which are considerably better. So I'm gonna recruit, say, 100,000 guards. Actually, it's 300,000 guards, because each unit has 3,000 manpower. Despite not having all of the US, the Civil War is still happening, boys. And I find it kind of weird that the state of Ohio is part of the Confederacy. There's gotta be some logic behind that, right? I assume. And feels bad, guys, but the British have actually taken Tarfaya from us. Oh boy, my Ottoman ally is literally reduced to one province now. I don't think there's any chance for them anymore, guys. And in the New World, the CSA actually survived, and not only that, but they took land from Natchez Federation, followed by the British snooping in and taking some land themselves, which ended up with this insanely horrible, disgusting border gore of a continent, basically the HRE in the New World. We just discovered that Iraq has oil, weapons of mass destruction, so we have to declare war in the name of the free world. I'm only doing this for their own good. Oh, look at this. The US just declared on the Iroquois Confederacy as well. Operation Oil has been up. Enduring freedom has been secured. Oh my god, Jacobins again. Can Jacob stop sending his minions, please? Okay, this time it's actually a lot of them. Holy snaps. Luckily, I got a lot of troopers, so I'm basically slaughtering all of them. Oh boy, the irony is strong in this run, I tell you. They did manage to get Karelia eventually, and they formed the Russian Empire out of Ukraine. A great day for humanity indeed, boys. We just got oil in the province of Târgoviște. In case you guys didn't know, historically speaking, Romania was the first country to exploit oil. If you fast forward to 2022, we're paying more for oil than countries that do not even produce it. Does that make sense? Remember how at the start of this campaign, we were basically producing 1 machine goods per day. Now look at this. We're producing 171, 1,000 iron, but we are the only producers of oil at the current moment. This will change obviously as more oil wells will be discovered. I think it is time that we research the combustion engine, which will eventually lead to automobiles and aeroplanes. India just appeared by breaking away from Nepal, which is reduced to a 1 province in Patna now. In the name of the civilized world, I will be signing the Geneva Convention, which prevents me from basically doing atrocities against mankind. I am the good guy in this series, okay? I'm the good guy. Ooh, we can have anarchic bomb throwers now. That's awesome. Remember how we started with 30% literacy rate? Well, guess what? We have 99.6% literacy. Everybody knows how to read and write in the Roman Empire. This is literally 12% higher than the literacy rate of the United States in 2022. Not even kidding. A little bit late, but it seems like the North German Federation has formed. I kind of have the urge of making this country a little bit bigger, because right now it seems pretty small in my opinion. Also, what the schnapps? Great Britain is ruled by the Communist Party, and it's a constitutional republic. That is a massive difference from our timeline. Probably the most important research ever done. The bolt action rifle is gonna completely change how war is gonna happen. With all the support they got from us and the military alliance, we've actually made the US a super strong nation. They're on their way to claiming all of their cores as we speak. We are also gonna help the Germans get back the northern part of Germany from the Polish-Lithuanians. Slowly but surely, this giant is definitely growing. And Germany is almost catching up to me with the industrial output. Now they're attacking the province of Deseret. By the way, found out what this is. Apparently, this is a Mormon utopia. And bye-bye Mormons, you're now reintegrated in the greater USA. Some of you might know Hearts of Iron revolves around the Second World War. It's a completely different series of nations here than from the vanilla Hearts of Iron 4. Obviously, we're continuing our saga as the Roman Empire, which is apparently a democracy, just like the real Roman Empire was. Hot diggity dog, look at all these units we got around the map. This is essentially the armies that we had in Wiki 2, basically translated over to the Hearts of Iron 4 save. We start with 400 factories. Holy snaps, that's a lot of factories right there, out of which 110 are military factories. So clearly the thing that we're gonna achieve today is we're gonna conquer the world as the Roman Empire. Let me see if there's any actual factions going on. We have our faction, the Latin bloc, which includes Germany. I'm sorry, Latin bloc, Germany. Doesn't really make sense, does it? Anybody else? Oh, Japan is in the Latin bloc as well. Germany, Japan, Roman Empire. Why does this alliance remind me of something? Oh, and la creme de la creme, the fourth member of the alliance is the United States themselves, who are actually at war with the English. They did not finish their war in the previous Wiki 2 run. And the British have a few interesting colonies. We have British Dixia, British Mexico, as well as the Empire of Mexico right next to them, with Yucatan as well. I don't think they had Panama in the Wiki 2 save. That's strange. Cool, massive as well. They basically have the entirety of the Caribbeans. But look at this, boyos. It's Florida, guys, the greatest nation to ever exist. They still retain some of their lands, including the one province they had in Africa, bruh. And la creme de la creme, South Africa owns half of Papua New Guinea. I don't think anyone saw that coming, did they? Japan also owns most of Brunei. Oh, that means they have most of the resources then. Yup, they got a lot of rubber, a lot of oil. This is essentially similar to World War II Japan, but with the actual resources. And I have a strong suspicion that Ming is quite powerful. And one awesome thing I noticed is you get a background on each nation by clicking on this. Russian Empire has Ukrainian as their primary culture, and Quoms, oh, they're not Ukrainians, they're Pecheneg and they're Turco-Semitics. Interesting. For us, of course, we are Latin, primary culture is Latin, and language is Latin. Germans are, you guessed it, they're Germans. But guess what? The Americans are Americano, and they're part of Latin American culture group, and their language is Italian. What this means is that everybody that's American in this save speaks like Rock Balboa. Oh, that is awesome. Canada's cultural background is Central Algonquian, so that means Canada's native. That actually is epic. I like that British Cascadia is fascist. They basically have Goering over here. Their culture is English. Empire of Mexico is also fascist. It's not many fascists around the world, actually. We also have absolutist, which is a different kind of political affiliation, I assume, that apparently the Mayans enjoy. Argentina's Falklander. Oh god, the irony in this. So Argentina's Falklander, they're in the British group, primary culture is English, and Great Britain still owns the Falkland Islands. That is the ultimate insult right there. But hey, they got a claim on the Falklands. Also interesting how all three of these countries have the same color, and look at this exclave that Argentina's got, surrounded here by the rivers. Oh, that's so much border go right there, it's unbelievable. Greenland's independent apparently, as is Iceland. Scandinavia has got a few claims around the world as well, I believe, in the Icelandic areas. And Scandinavia is at war with the Dutch. Let's see what wars we have right now. We got current wars, American reclamation of doesn't say what, against the Brits, another American reclamation against the nation of Quebec and the Brits, Scandinavian-Dutch war, and Brazilian reclamation of Bolivia, or the Amazonas. Alright, so Brazil's likely gonna get bigger. Africa is a delight to look at. Congo's massive, Kasanji's country's massive. And I like the fact that the Kazanji leader looks like he's been on the ganja for a little bit. Is that a hoodie? Is he wearing a hoodie in 1936? What is up with this game? This guy looks awesome. I don't know who this dude is. I like his hat. I want to get a hat like this. South Africa seems to be ruled by the Spanish guy, whatever his name is. And they are Spanish. Oh shit. South Africa's culture is actually Spanish. They're part of the Latin American group somehow. And they do have most islands in the Indian Ocean and even some in the Pacific apparently. They were a colonial power in the previous game. Let's get down to business, boyos. Let's start by doing our research first off. Let's assign our factories also. We actually have 0 convoys, so we're gonna have to do a few more convoys here. I also realized that I only have battleships and cruisers, so I don't really have much screen. I'm gonna have to do some destroyers as consequence. But holy schnaps, 113 battleships is insane. Focus tree, sadly, we have the basic schnapple-duple focus tree. So let's go with political effort first. We're gonna try and become a fascist nation, just for political reasons, okay? Oh my god, look at that sexy construction map right there. Let's start by getting infrastructure actually in all of our provinces, and then after we can actually start making more factories and even some railways and stuff. Wow, boys, we have 202 starting divisions. Let's see how much equipment we have from the very first day. We start with 107,000 infantry equipment and 8,000 artillery. Look at the absolutely epic uniform that these guys have. It actually looks like a Roman-ish uniform, doesn't it? That being said, all of my generals are absolute dog schnitzel, so it's gonna be a pain grinding these boys up. Kinda gives base vanilla Italy general vibes, doesn't it? We also have a lot of super cool icons we can assign for the army. Oh, look at this. It looks like a Orthodox style flag or something. It's apparently from the French. What? That makes no sense. I mean, technically, France is a part of us, right? It's an integral core of our country, so it makes sense to have that icon after all. You know, just playing as the Roman Empire in the Second World War, it really makes me feel so proud and makes me wonder, what would the world have been like if the Roman Empire did not collapse and it was still around in like 1936 or even today? I'm gonna have this game set up in 3 phases. First phase, upgrade all of my infrastructure and get my supply system to be top notch whilst my troops are getting ready for the war. Second phase, start the world war, declare war on everybody. And then third phase, backstab my current allies, but I'm gonna let them grow as big as possible before I do that, because I want to have some strong enemies for the late game. Oh god, I forgot I'm a democracy, so I cannot declare on anybody just yet. I gotta wait to change my political system, of course. Hold up! My boy the USA calling me into war. Yes sir, I don't mind if I do. We can invite Canada to an alliance with us. They're at war with the same people actually. You know what? Sure, we'll do that. Maybe we can beef them up a little bit as well after this war. We'll give them some lands in the peace deal. Daily fascism support. Sure, we'll get this guy. Oh, what? Brazilians fascist? Surely this cannot be. Guys, I found the country that is the ultimate enemy of the session. It is the Swiss. The Swiss are the real fascist menace here, and their plan to overtake the world banking system must be stopped. Let's start with our invasion of the British Isles, of course. Hey, nobody prevented us from getting onto London. Oh no, it would appear that the war is already won. That was fast. Let's actually assign 24 divisions to this from Army 5 to take control and fully annex the British Isles. It was a bright day in Britain when the Romans came through. I think this pretty much answers the question of what would the world look like if the Roman Empire existed in the Second World War. The world would be speaking Latin right now. Holy schnapps, Britain's really close to capitulating. I might hold off from capitulating them because I want to get a little bit more army experience. I only got 10 experience so far. We meet again, 007, or in this case, Herbert Montgomery Tepes. What? He's related to Vlad Tepes, Dracula? Hold on a second, what is happening here? Oh, look at that experience go up, boys. Look at that experience go up. Oh, no! I made a mistake! I clicked on the capital. Oh, no. Now I have to annex the Brits. Oh, this is horrible. Gonna pass a few times so I get a little bit more war score here. And the Americans took Colorado. Alright, there you go. That's gonna be Roman land. And what else do they have? Dixia and whatever. We're gonna give this to the Americans. We'll pass a few times. Wait, what happened? happened? Are you kidding me? They actually changed the government of Dixia and Great Britain, which means that they're now a part of our faction. Oh, dude, are you kidding me right now? Okay, I'm gonna take everything else that you got left. There you go. Finally, we got over 50% fascism, so we're gonna hold a referendum, which in turn means that we're gonna become a fascist nation, ruled by the same guy? No, he's a different guy, isn't he? All of our allies left the faction because they're democratic scum, which means we're gonna have to kill them off, sadly. This is what it has come to. Switzerland wants to join our faction. No, Switzerland, no. You know, if the Roman Empire still existed, we would basically have this sort of infrastructure around Europe. This is all level 3 and above railway. It would have really just been a perfect world, wouldn't it? But it's okay, because we'll make it a perfect world. Finished our justification against Iran, so let's go ahead and attack them. I'm not sure if they're going to form a faction. I would prefer if they did, because then I can attack multiple nations in the same war, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. I just have to say it. I have to say it. It's disgusting that the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth has this one province over here. Like, the borders would have been perfect if it was not for this ugly little thing here, and that was a super fast and easy war. Massively Pepega and not climactic at all. Oh, hold on a second. What did I just see here? The Ottoman Empire still exists. House of Tekeoglu, King Orhan III, leader of the Ottoman Empire. Oh, dude. They're the main antagonist. It's not the Swiss anymore. I'm just kidding, Switzerland. You're still the biggest antagonist. I kind of forgot how overpowered the EU4 mission tree is. To put this into perspective, I already have 6 research slots because the mission tree offers 2 research slots. Even offers 2 years ahead of time for nuclear tech. So if you time this well, you can get nuclear missiles before the Americans. Whoa, Brazil? When did you kill off Argentina and everybody else in South America? Okay. Interesting. Fascist Brazil is absolutely massive now. The only thing next to them is Colombia. Curious to see how this is gonna develop. Oh, we can invite Brazil to our alliance. Fascist duo of Brazil and the Roman Empire. I kind of like the way that sounds. I really like the way that sounds. Together we shall take over the world, Brazil. Fingers crossed this second war is actually going to trigger an alliance block to get formed against us. Well, looks like Poland declared on Hungary also instead of an alliance being formed, which is massive Pepega, and Poland, you nasty boyos. I'm going to have to teach you a lesson here. Get a claim on your Bohemian loans. Ha! Non-aggression pact? No freaking way. If the previous wars did not manage to create an alliance, this one will for sure. We're going to be attacking these boyos. They're also guaranteed by the Russians and the Austrians, so this definitely is going global. They actually have proper divisions. They're even winning a little bit. No, they're not. At least they're trying. At least. Oh no, they actually are winning. Holy snaps, I gotta step up my defenses here, boys. Did not expect them to be this strong. Brazil wants to join in this war. You know what? Sure thing, Brazil. You're allowed to join. And they managed to take one province from us. The Maginot has fallen. I'll let them push in a little bit. I actually don't mind getting some proper experience from this war. And because we're going global, let's also hire some more units. Let's get another 48 divisions, I'd say is perfect to help us out in the wars to come. We got more than enough planes as well to secure the air. So we got green air everywhere now. Alright, let's push back a little bit. At least I want to get back my province that they took from me. And we'll hold them off here. Maybe take Alsace-Lorraine simply because they pissed me off. Managed to encircle some Russians over here too. And they're basically gone. Oh boy, the Russians are pushing us a lot now. They're not joking around, man. They somehow managed to get 1,800 planes. So I guess we gotta assign more planes to this area in that case. Slowly but surely, we're making progress. We started munching into the borders of the German Empire. And we're taking back some of the lands that the Russians took from us. We're also gonna start getting ready to attack the Lithuanians or Poles. And finally, we can get rid of this ugly border gore here that I've despised from the start of this campaign. The Office of Strategic Roman Affairs has discovered weapons of mass destruction in the Netherlands, and we gotta take them out before they use these weapons of mass destruction. Holy dopey dopey do. They made an alliance. Nice. Alright, so now we got a proper face on the enemy. It's the Asian Association. Oh my god, that's funny. The Asian Association includes Iceland and Greenland and North German Confederation. What? That is the weirdest alliance that I've ever seen. USA joined the Republic of China. What? What is happening here? What do you mean USA joined the Republic of China? Oh, you mean, oh, right. Okay, they joined the Asian Association. Oh, crap. Okay, now that means everybody's in this alliance against me, including the Russians, and I assume the Poles are gonna join as well. I may have bit a little bit more than I can chew, I think. I still need some time to prepare for a world war, but hey, I guess it's here now. Hey, the Dutch have capitulado. You know what? If that's how it's gonna be, then I'm gonna invite the nation of Scandinavia in my alliance as well. Still not inviting Switzerland though. I'm gonna take everything they got here. Is that okay with everybody else in the room? Okay, everyone, yeah, sure. All right. We're also focusing most of our assault in the German area, as Germany still is the industrial heartland of this enemy alliance. Remember how I said that the generic mission tree is powerful? Well, guess what? Because of militarism and military youth, we managed to get 10 million manpower on limited conscription. That is insane. Alright, time to attack them as well. No more lollygagging. We're close to capitulating the Germans at least. I'm gonna try my best to wipe out all of the divisions in here before I capitulate them though. Oh boy, we're closing in on the pocket here. If we get Flensburg, they're all completely done. And we got Flensburg. Oh my boy, look at this encirclement. We got 27 divisions. We're gonna absolutely completely exterminato. Probably should not be so happy with the fact that I'm basically wiping off the face of the map like 500,000 soldiers. That's something a psycho would be glad about. So I'm gonna pretend whatever I just did before did not happen. So what I'm doing right now is, honestly, I'm just imagining like a bunch of bankers trying to defend Switzerland. Oh really? You guys joined the Asian Association as well? Come on, really? You're not even democratic, for Christ's sake. Aber unsere deutsche Equipmentstein, ja? Oh my god, I got the potential to make some massive encirclements here. I really find it strange that Berlin's a part of Poland in this game rather than Germany. Let's use a couple of our ciphers so we also have an easy time going through the Lithuanian and Russian plains. Basically like a knife going through butter, isn't it? This is the weirdest pocket ever. 7 divisions of Japanese troops and another 2 of Russians. Hey, we got Königsberg, everyone. The city of kings, except it's in Polish, so I got no idea how to say King's City in Polish. The amount of pockets we got so far has just reached ridiculous numbers. Should I do that Harry Potter thing for each pocket, like Expelliarmus, Alfada Cadabra? Let's see if it works. Alfada Cadabra! Oh shit, it worked, everyone! Expelliarmus! Oh my god, it's so good! This is gonna be an especially sweet one, and it might take a little bit more than Alfada Cadabra. No, Alfada, I said Alfada Cadabra. It was instant, okay? Pocetus Magicus. I said Pocetus Magicus. Oh, it worked. Damn it. Why you gotta ruin my scene here? There you go. It worked, okay? It's Pocetus. You gotta realize, guys, whenever you're doing these mega campaigns, you do go a little bit batshit crazy. Okay, now can you guys say it in the comment section? It's Alfada Cadabra. Come on, boys, you gotta say it or this pocket's not gonna go away. Good boys, you guys said it and it went away. I'm so proud of you. I mean, someone has to be proud of you, right? You might be wondering how I'm managing to win so easily, and I basically right-click everything. It's very easy. My template is this, the Varangians, which is a basic 21 combat width, which is kind of the new meta in the latest No Step Back patch. As well as my support companies include rocket artillery, support artillery, and anti-air, which helps massively with the soft attack, bit of hard attack, and air attack. And I have most of the artillery researches done, so I got a lot of extra boost to my soft attack. I am making some armored divisions. I don't really need them, to be fair, but I'm making them just for the memes. Oh lol, I didn't even notice this pocket. 14 divisions, and I barely even have any supply here. Jesus, mother of God, there's literally no supply hub in northern India. Oh my lord, we're up to 25 mil manpower. It's like the new Soviet Union, except we're the Romans. Oh wow, Scandinavia still has these lands as cores. This is actually from the EU4 save back when Scandinavia actually did own these lands. Insane that they kept the cores throughout all of Wiki 2 and now Hoi 4. People say I'm the bad guy, but wherever the Romans go, roads get upgraded, okay? So if I'm building all these roads, how can I be the bad guy? You know, it's all fun and games until you really need to deal with the Ottomans. How will we ever manage to kill off the Ottomans, guys. Oh, did we just commit Poketos? This definitely looks like a Poketos, guys. Oh my god, look at this Poketos, boys. They are gonna get massacred here. All I need to do is take this one harbor, and they got no way of getting supplied. Now let's see these tanks in action against the Indians here. At least these tanks are fairly fast compared to basically anything I had before. What is this? Philippines. Philippines wants to join the Latin bloc. What? Okay, sure, I'll let the Philippines join. As a reward for joining Philippines, I'm gonna develop you to maximum infrastructure. You're absolutely welcome right here. And let's do the same to what's left of India. Well, what we took from India anyway. Time to open more fronts by attacking Yucatan also. And this way, my Colombian broskies can do some work as well. May the gods have mercy on us. We're about to attack the Ottoman. So clearly, this is the end of our run because we're gonna get raffle stomped. Why is there so much dust here? Jesus, mother of schnapps. Oh, what? I cannot believe it. Shocked Pepega face right here, right here. Not even kidding. The Nubians are putting up more of a fight than the Ottomans did. Oh boy, these guys might also capitulate once I take Kazan. They didn't capitulate, but we did completely cut them off from everybody else, so they're gonna slowly die off to attrition, and me killing them, of course. It kind of feels like they're imploding in here. Things are about to get a little bit more interesting now. We've pushed the Japanese and the allies, let's call them, back quite a little bit after we kill off the Japanese, and we take the rubber in the south here in Malaysia, which we need, obviously, desperately need actually. We're gonna start our assault against the Americans. Let's send these 24 Varangian divisions here, assign them by the border with Panama, and let's just continue to justify and attack everybody around. Right now, it's not even any sort of a challenge. It's really just, whoa, hold up. Did I just notice something? Mexico attacked Yucatan, so likely I can invite Mexico. Oh, dude, that would be Pepega. You know what? I'm gonna invite Mexico because I'm sure that the US has no troops by the border with Mexico. I'll let Mexico take the US and then I'll kill Mexico after. Yep, they only got a couple of troops over here. Oh, this is gonna be funny. Mexico's taking back their lands, guys. They're taking back what's rightfully theirs. Ooh, we even managed to get a rocket engine, which means we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get improved rocket engines next. Actually, no, we're gonna get the gas turbine. We've also pushed the Japanese completely out of here, which means we're very, very close to Malaysia. Wait a second, did I just see that? Did Florida declare on me? What? Also interesting to see how South Africa and Hausaland did expand. They didn't just sit around for nothing. In fact, Hausaland is attacking Congo right now. And Florida is not in the Allies. It's in the Imperial Alliance together with Pagaruyung and Dawaro. So Florida attacked me because they are absolute chads. Mexico and Colombia basically split Yucatan between themselves. We are going to help against the Americans though. We got 24 of our brave Varangian units here. The Americas are going to beat the Mexico very, very shortly. We also managed to capture so many troops on this peninsula right now. I think that's like half of their remaining army. Is it just me, or is the leader of Canada look like the guy who stormed the Capitol building? Hot dang, these Americans are hanging in there, aren't they? I've basically killed off their entire nation and they still have not given up. Hey guys, guess who just researched nuclear missiles? It's this guy. I heard it's always sunny in Philadelphia, so I just came to check for myself, make sure. Sunny or not, it's always gonna be level 5 infrastructure in Philadelphia now that we have it. Hey boy, we got paratroopers in here, so that means the Japanese islands are already ours now. Let's just bring in the rest of the army in here. Rightus clicus. Look at them boyos go, everybody. Look at them boyos go. With the actual allies dead, time to kill off the Americans. There's only one American in the New World, and that is Quebec. So we're gonna wipe him out. Now in the peace deal, we're gonna pass a few times so we get more war score than everybody else, and then after, we take everything and don't give anything to our allies. Yay! What a beautiful world. Fair enough, Scandinavia did manage to take a couple of provinces from Germany, but not a big deal. Because remember guys, phase 3 is we're gonna be kicking out from the faction these boyos, and we're gonna be attacking them after. I have to say, I feel bad about Mexico. They did most of the heavy lifting against the Americans, and I didn't even give them a single province. But hey, that's just how it is, okay? Sometimes you gotta make the tough calls. Time for the last war ski. Let's go. Oh, snaps. I forgot to not train my troops. That was a mistake. Fine. Let's go. Let's go. We should easily to kick off these boys. We got way better troops than they have. Oh yeah, baby, let's go. And you know what? Because we already have 39 nuclear bombs, we're gonna drop one on Zacatecas. Click the button, and now let's see what happens, shall we? Oh my god, that is beautiful. That is actually beautiful. In a bad way. It's beautiful. Never do this. Never do this at home, okay? I want to drop another one. I want to drop one more. Oh my god. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm terribly sorry about that. That was very unprofessional. I'm just gonna drop a few more all around Mexico here. I just want to see what it looks like. No particular reason. I also want to test the effects of these nuclear missiles on the general divisions. Oh my god, it decimated the divisions. What? It literally cleared off most of those guys' equipment. That is insane. I love nukes now. I want to drop more. I want to drop more. Mexico's basically my testing ground right now. All right, you guys ready for this? Let's watch the spectacle. Oh, that is so beautiful, man. I cannot believe how many nuclear missiles. I mean, it's beautiful in the sense of the animation, not what it actually means, okay? Just don't read into it too much, okay? Well, gee, Mexico capitulated super fast. I wonder why. And November 20th, 1946 is the day when the entire Earth became the Roman Empire. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and remember, you can check out the Stellaris part over here to see the final conclusion of the 2000 years mega campaign. And I want to give a very big thank you to all of my channel members, Patreon members, as well as my Twitch supporters. I really wouldn't be able to do this without all of your support.